Hi, welcome to Strength Reversed. If you don't know me, my name is Amy. Thank you so much for being here. I'm doing a VR to Anna, Astral Lady Tarot. She made a video today or the other day, that was called the Your Ex Will Come Back formula and Tarot Ethics and Community. And this was a VR she did to someone else named Tarot for Self-Knowledge. I want to say I've seen his channel somewhere, but I'm not sure. She also directed me to a VR by Sylvain, and I watched his VR. He VR'd to Anna Astral Lady Tarot, and it's in French. So I got, bits and pieces of it. I got the gist of some parts, but je suis désolée, je ne parle pas le français, j'ai étudié in high school. That's the extent. I studied Spanish, so I tried to get as much as I could, and I thought, why don't I speak French? Because it was good. I could tell it was juicy. So I will link, though, his VR. And as I was listening to Anna's VR to Your Ex Will Come Back, it was just like it opened a can of worms. It was one of those things where it was just, I could have gone down lots of different avenues with this, but I did a little rant in my head, and I wrote down some of my rant, and then I thought I would do a little bit of a ranty ramble on camera, and I did it before, and it was too rambly and not along anywhere in the coherent sort of family, so I worked out, and now I'm doing it again. So we'll see how this goes. In this video, Anna talks about the trap of community, and how when we have a community, sometimes like our little corner of the tarot internet, we might not be true to ourselves in an effort to please the community, or we kind of take on what the community wants and we go along with that. And I think that can definitely happen. I think probably for someone who's newer to tarot, they might, look at the way we read tarot. We as a group, of course, we're all different, but we do have a lot of things in common. And you should watch the other VR I did to Anna's hashtag cliche tarot reader. That was kind of fun. Check those out. I'll link all that stuff. But, if as a newer reader, if I had come to this tarot tube as a new reader, I might have seen like the way I thought that I should read the cards. I think I was fortunate in that I came when I already had a relationship with the cards and had some experience, and so even though I've learned things and seen new perspectives, I already have my own definite opinions, and I haven't really felt super pressured to change anything or go along with the group, because I've already formed that relationship with tarot. But as someone who maybe doesn't have a lot of experience, you might look at what's going on around you and think, okay, this is normal, this is what I have to do. And so what she was responding to was Tarot for Self-Knowledge, and he's a bigger channel, and you guys know that the other tarot tube. Are you aware of the other tarot tube? I picture this as kind of like two high schools in the same town. You don't really go to hang out with people from the other high school because it's sort of suspicious and a little bit scary because you don't know them. There's a whole other way of reading, way of coming to the tarot cards. In our little corner, we're pretty introspective here, and we are pretty much about, growing and using the cards to better ourselves, or using the cards to help other people. And there's more of a I guess, straightforward way. I don't know if straightforward's the word. In Sylvan's video, he was talking about reading cards predictively versus for divination. I think. I think that's what he was talking about. But he, this predictive way to read the cards where you kind of look and what's going to happen, and is he going to come back to me, and am I going to get my house sold, and when is this going to happen? We know those kinds of questions. There's several videos that this popped into my head. There's a video that I made talking about how important questions are, and I went on a little mini ramble about that, and I'll link that somewhere. And I'm just noting the time where I need to link that. Those kinds of questions I call low budget questions or low energy questions, because it just takes the reader or the querent completely out of, they're not participating in their own life. It's like they're a bystander. It's like they're disempowered. They're completely disempowering. So what is this other person thinking? What is this other person's opinion of me? When will something happen? Should I do something? And some querents they phrase a question like that because they don't know that there's a better way to phrase it when you ask the cards. And so as readers, we take those questions and we say, okay, here's a better question. Here's something that's going to get us more information. Here's something that is actionable. Here's what the real issue is. There was another, I think, 31 Days of Tarot prompt that was, if you could make a 79th tarot card, what would it be? And the card I decided to make was, that's not the real question. Because I think sometimes querents bring to the reader a question like, will my ex come back? And the reader can tell that's not the biggest issue. What might be better for us to look at is, why do you care? Like, why has your ex moved on and you haven't? What's holding you back? What's keeping you from being open to moving on, or open to making room for someone can give you what you need? And those are the real questions. And so sometimes when we have a conversation with the querent, we can direct them to that, and they'll say, oh, okay, that's cool. We'll do that. And yeah, that sounds good. But there is a kind of querent that is resistant to that because they don't really want a reading. And I'll get back to that. You've seen probably this other side of tarot, the other Tarot Tube. They're pretty huge channels, tens of thousands of subscribers. Some of the videos get hundreds of thousands of views, and they have these titles that are buzzwords. They are titles that, I have a hair in my eye. You know how you get a hair in your eyelash? They have buzzwords that really trigger you and push your buttons and draw you in. And it's things like, will my ex come back? Does he love you? Is he thinking about you? I just saw one today that was, who's gossiping about you? They're talking behind your back. And you pick a candle, and if you pick the red candle, here's your reading. Someone's calling you lazy. Why is that helpful? That's not useful. First of all, ask me if I give a shit if someone's calling me lazy, okay? I'm on summer vacation, so, maybe they're jealous because they have to go to work in the morning and I don't. So, that kind of reading, is it helpful? And that is what Tarot for Self-Improvement, for Self-Knowledge, that's what he, I guess, was asking, and I should really watch his video because I just watched Anna's VR. he was asking, you know, are these readings that I'm doing really helpful? Is this really what I want to do? And so Anna said she kind of commented like, you know, come to the dark side. There's a whole other side of tarot. So I think the problem is not with the tarot readers who are on these big channels doing, you know, there's nothing wrong with live readings, but live readings it's a different animal. It's like when you do a live reading, you have to keep it brief and you have to kind of keep it light. Okay. We're not divulging deep, dark secrets because there are onlookers, and we just have to kind of move it along and be encouraging without lying. So when we have these low budget questions, which I try to avoid like the plague, because I feel like the person asking them is like has a plug in their hand and they're like, who has an energy socket that I can plug into and drain? That's how it feels. And so some querents are really open to being redirected, but some aren't. The problem with readings, the problem is not necessarily with the readers. I'm not saying the readers on those channels. I don't even know the names of those channels, but when I watch a few of the videos, and I have watched them in the past, because I see, how do you have, first of all, I'm not really interested in someone else's tarot reading. Okay? I'm not, it's fun to do live readings or to be on a live, but I'm not just going to kick back with my popcorn and watch other people have readings. It's weird. Like, I don't feel like I need to be a part of that, but when they have so many views and so many people tuning in to these just inane questions that are being asked, I just think, what's going on here? Like, what is this? Why are so many people watching this? It's like, they're not, it's just so not doing it. It's about as deep as a puddle. Okay. And I just think, oh, these are just the kinds of questions that you would get with free readings. And I think a lot of those huge channels, they're not free, right? They're asking you to donate money, which is fair enough. But if you're doing that to get money or direct someone to your goods and services that you're selling, kind of like an advertisement, maybe these readers don't know that there's a different level to tarot. Maybe that is their community and they have just seen other people reading like that, and so they think that that's what tarot reading is, that you get these inane questions and you answer whatever inane question is thrown at you, and then someone gives you money and it's a good side hustle. Maybe that's what they think, or maybe they think they're being helpful by telling someone what they want to hear. So what the formula was, the your ex will come back formula, was that they always seem to give these, yes, your ex will come back. Yes, it's going to happen. And to me, whether it's a positive or negative reading is not the point. The point is, like I said, these querents are not always after a tarot reading. And that's why they gravitate toward free readings, okay? They're going to go from this channel to this channel to this channel to the next channel, and they're going to ask the same damn question over and over, and they crave this validation, and they crave this affirmative only, yes, this is going to happen. There's a certain kind of querent and a certain kind of reader, and when you put them together, it's a bad mix, and it's destructive, it's disempowering, it's not productive, it's not functional. And that's what I see happening. You watch a few of these videos and you feel like you need a shower. I mean, I cringe, and I kind of get this feeling in my gut like, oh God, people, all these people, why are so many people watching this? These questions that don't mean anything and that aren't helping them grow, and why this? And I think because, I mean, there can be this toxic new age attitude where people think however you do things, that's the right way. And I don't think that's true. So even though there are lots of ways to approach the tarot, sometimes predictive, sometimes not predictive, we all read tarot through the lens of our own experience. We all come with a slightly different point of view, which is why there's room for lots of readers. Okay? There's room for everyone because your perspective is unique. However, just because there's more than one right way doesn't mean every way is right. Some ways are wrong. And when you're reading in a way that where you're lying to someone, or you're kind of BSing them and telling them what you want to hear, and you're just giving them that, feel good in the moment, but the next day they're going to be back, maybe donating more money or giving you more views or whatever. If you're lying to someone just to get views or just to get money or just to get your, ego boost, that's the wrong way. It's just wrong. And it's not your way, and so it's right. It's wrong. And some of those readers I don't think are out to hurt anyone intentionally, or maybe they think they are helping, but when people ask questions like that, sometimes they are in a place where they're desperate to stop hurting. We've all been in a place where we can't see clearly because we're in such an emotionally charged place, either because of a relationship, because of a diagnosis, because of a situation in your life, where it consumes you, and it consumes your headspace and your energy, and your friends are going nuts because you keep discharging to them and they're tired of hearing about it. And really, sometimes queerants like that need therapy. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I think when you're born, you should be assigned a therapist. I think, working with a good therapist is fantastic. And a tarot reading will not replace the work of a therapist. But sometimes getting a tarot reading is easier, especially if that's the kind of reading you're getting, where someone is telling you what you want to hear. But when someone is in a place like that and they are full of raw emotion, they are very vulnerable. And if a reader plays on their emotions to get likes or views or a donation or whatever, or they give a disempowering reading, or they're enabling someone to keep lying to themselves, or to transfer blame, or to not be responsible for their own lives, or they're telling someone what they want to hear and allowing them to keep living in that lie, that's gross. It's almost like an abusive almost. And again, it's not like these are shitty tarot readers. It's not like, I'm sure they're not out to hurt someone, but if you're telling, you just never know how much someone is depending on you or how much credence they're giving to you. So when you have a reader like that, and then they meet the kind of querent who isn't really after a tarot reading, there's a certain kind of querent, and I find that they're very attracted to free readings, usually. You know, the hoppers, the ones that are going to hop around and they're going to just keep getting reading after reading. It's not like they get one reading and they're satisfied. And these are people who are looking for confirmation. They're looking to be let off the hook. They're looking to be relieved from responsibility. And they're looking to not pay, usually. So if you're someone who's charging $50 for a 30-minute reading, and you're going to do some introspection, and you might have them, look at some hard truths and tell them the truth or help them see something, a lot of people don't want to see. And so they're certainly not going to pay you $50 to see something that they don't want to see, okay? And if you're not willing to rephrase, or you're not open to, let's ask this a different way, or you don't really want to hear an answer, I think it's okay as a reader to move on from that querent, and say, it's not clicking. So anyway, it bothers me that the other tarot tube, that these videos get so many views, because I just think, if someone sees these videos, and this is maybe the only exposure they've had to tarot, it might be the first and last tarot reading they've ever seen. Some of these questions, you don't even need the tarot cards. It's mostly like common sense. And, you need someone who's not in your, that place of emotion to look at something objectively. But they see these readings, 150,000 views, saw these readings, and they might think, tarot is a scam. These people are like taking advantage of people. This is BS. They're just, saying anything. They're not even really reading the cards. They're making this up. And so Anna was saying, when she tells people that she is a dancer, they're like, what, you mean a stripper? And she's like, no, I'm a fucking ballet dancer. She doesn't say it like that. It's just how I said it. And so when we tell people we're tarot readers, you have to qualify that. Like, but I'm not like that. You have to get through this layer of the devil, and, you're ripping people off, or it's just a scam, or you're just making it up, or it's da-da-da-da-da-da. And you have this, people have no idea what the full experience of tarot is, and how powerful this tool can be when it's used in an empowering way. I used to belly dance for a decade or more, and I really miss it. When I moved here, I just didn't find my kindreds, and it just wasn't the same. And okay, that's another video, but we had dancers that we would refer to as 6-week wonders. And 6-week wonders were dancers who took maybe a beginning course, maybe they'd take a few beginning level classes, and then they would buy a costume and they would perform. And it's the same kind of feeling. It's like cringy, because some people, it doesn't take a professional dancer to look at another dancer and see good or bad technique, or see good or bad showmanship. You don't have to be a dancer to know those things. You can just tell. And so when, you don't want people to have the experience of maybe the first and only time they see a belly dancer, and they watch Middle Eastern dance and they think, okay, it's kind of cringy. and they just have, they don't know about the full experience, or how fantastic it is when it's performed well. And it's the same thing with tarot, and I think that's one of the problems. That's why those huge channels that do those low budget kind of questions are so problematic. It's not only because of the gross relationship that happens between a reader like that and a querent who's in a bad space, or a querent who doesn't understand how to come to the tarot, and that's damaging enough. But then to what it does to readers who go beyond the surface, go beyond those questions, and they go beyond predictions, and they know the power of using this tool, and that is diminished by those kinds of readings. And I'm not trying to lump all of those readers into one lump, or all of those querents into one lump. But like Anna said, I think sometimes if that's all you've seen of tarot, you might think that that's how tarot is. And what is there to be done about that? I'm not really sure. But tarot for self-knowledge, welcome to the other high school. Okay, well, thanks you guys for watching and dealing with my ramble. I'll link a few videos in the description, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on the other tarot tube. And okay, I hope I didn't sound too harsh. I've been accused of that in the past, but I was just honest. I'm just putting it all out there. I will see you guys next time. Like or subscribe, because I'm a cliche tarot reader. Bye.